Being an immigrant in a country where you're the minority is like being an oak tree in a forest of evergreens. You always have your roots, but eventually they end up tangling with the roots of the other trees. If I didn't have music or poetry, I think I'd have to have found another outlet for my emotions, probably. How you can craft ideas with words, and so it's like therapy in a sense. Without it, I wouldn't be comfortable in my own skin. Creativity lets people share their individual perspective, and we all have one.
Leaves blowing in the wind, trees they reach out and sing. We are one. When we breathe as one. You look to me as different, but we're made of the same. The ground feeds us, rain relieves us, and death takes away the pain.
When a trauma arises or when I'm reminded of a memory, I'll channel it through creative outputs, and in doing so, hopefully try to understand myself better. And so I've been doing quite a lot of work recently with my inner child and reconnecting with who I was and who I truly am, and trying to negotiate myself and my identity within the world. My heritage is complex. It's a fusion between different cultures, multiple diasporas. As soon as someone asks me where I'm from, I say England. Where are you from? Stop. Where are you from? Okay, Jamaica, Morocco. Before I've even said it, they see me as a representative of something, or they wouldn't have asked. So once they find out, they can pin me to whatever they suspected. But it doesn't make a difference, because I am all of those things, and to be all of those things means I am none of those things solely.
Understanding the culture of music and having that connection with my body in music definitely brought me closer to my heritage and the acceptance of who I am.
Music and dance brings me closer to myself, 100%. Just purely because the connection with the music and my body. So I have the conversation with my body and the music, and it makes sense. And help me mentally as well, because, been through a lot of dark stuff. So, I needed a way to express, because no one really wants to listen. Everyone just wants to be happy. So, it's fair enough. No one wants to listen. I'm going to show you through movement. Definitely would have been music, if not dance. Because ever since I was born, I was always raised with good music, thanks to my mom. Erykah Badu, Nas, Joe, Jagged Edge, various artists. It was quite eclectic, to be fair. So I feel that really helped me figure things out,
In the process of exploring myself, my heritage is always touched upon. I was invited to a wedding. My aunt was like, I'm going to do your hair, sit down, I'm going to do your hair. And she tried to do this style, which is what Moroccans do at weddings, big, silk, sleeky, long. And she tried to create and concoct this shape with my hair that just wasn't made for it. And she tried to force my being into a shape that it didn't fit, just to show that I was a part of this culture. When I looked in the mirror, I felt like a mockery of myself. Everyone was complimenting me and saying how beautiful I looked. And it was just a reminder that this is not me, and this is the only way that they'll accept me, when I twist myself into the shape of them. your identity isn't completely grounded in heritage. Like it has the potential to be a significant part of who you are, but it's not necessary.
Being black definitely makes you feel standoutish. I've been racially abused in certain situations. At the time, I didn't really think anything of it because I just thought it's what it is. And I try not to hold on to things like that as well. As much as we are coloured people, we are one, so don't let that blind you, basically. Because some people get so fixated in their culture or colour that they don't want to see any other colour. We're all one.
I'd call home wherever my family is, really. I wouldn't call it a singular place. I came to England when I was 4 years old. I didn't really speak English back then, so I think that's maybe why the memory is so cloudy, because there wasn't a lot of conversational interaction, but you know, kids, they just make as much of it as they can. You have to pick the stress that you face. A bad political situation and bad healthcare between having to face things like racism in another country, but your children will be able to go to university and you will be able to earn better money. The cultural celebrations and traditions kind of get lost amongst the pursuit of a better life for your children. So in terms of the heritage and culture, I'm not as connected to it as I'd like to be. It took time for me to come into myself more when I was like 17, 18. If I could speak to my younger self now, I think I'd just say, no one cares as much as you think they do. No one really is going to stop you pursuing what you want. You're at an advantage of knowing two different cultures as well, so maybe you could help connect the two in a positive way and share new ideas for your family that comes after you, and even for the family before you, beyond just the materialistic way in terms of sharing new ways of life, ideas, and just how to get forward in life and kind of be an example for them. Poetry, I think it helps me explore myself, my emotions, and my perspectives on the world. Being an immigrant in a country where you're the minority is like being an oak tree in a forest of evergreens. You always have your roots, but eventually they end up tangling with the roots of the other trees. I mean, to all the other trees around you, you stand out as different. And to the more closed-minded trees, you start to represent the home, heritage, identity, and culture of every oak tree that's out there. Some evergreens ask you, how do your leaves look like that? Can I touch them? And things like, do they have soil where you come from? Some even enjoy your roots so much they try to copy them and claim them as their own. You'll face assumptions, stereotypes, and prejudice. After all, you're the only oak tree that those around you can see. Other oak trees have known this forest for long enough to know all the tricks. I mean, after all, they live in a forest that benefits them. In fact, most of the evergreens don't even see the oak trees, so they have no idea how damaging it can be. I mean, if a lumberjack came looking for oak trees, then wouldn't it be silly for the evergreens to start saying, well, don't all trees matter? And despite all this conflict and all this hatred, a human on a road far away would drive by and say, look at all those trees. Isn't that a lovely forest?